Welcome to the Pastor Says. Here we are on the 4th of July weekend, 2009. We just finished a big day at the church, and I thought it'd be a good time this evening, maybe just to share with you from my heart. You know, our country, there's much debate about our founding fathers, on whether they were Christian men or not. Many would love for you to think that they were not, but that's not what history records. But our history is fading away. It's interesting that George Washington, our first president's farewell address, is no longer found in our history books. It's probably been 40 years since it's been found in our history books for our students to read. One of the things George Washington said in his farewell address as our first president was that no nation could be governed without God and the Bible. Now, a lot of people would hope that you would never hear that. Another one is Thomas Jefferson. We always hear separation of church and state, separation of church and state. We've heard it so much we think it's a part of the Constitution, but it's not. Read it. Find out for yourself. Also, some would have us to believe it's in the Bill of Rights. It's not there either. It was in a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote to a Baptist group back in his day, assuring them that the Constitution was written in a way that the Church of England, like what happened in England, the Church of England governing the whole nation. One denomination would never be able to govern the whole nation. He didn't mean for our government not to have any religious values, as some would have you to think. He states that he believes that the precepts of Jesus Christ are some of the greatest teaching. He also says in another statement that he is a Christian, a disciple of Jesus Christ. And yes, he used the word Jesus. As you research it in the Library of Congress, you will find out that one of the things that Congress did is they decided that everything that ever was done there would be recorded. Did you know that when they first started, church services were held there? In the Library of Congress, you'll actually find sermons recorded. A lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people don't want you to know that. They want to erase our heritage. Our founding fathers founded the Constitution. On God we trust. Thomas Jefferson himself, who they like to attribute separation of church and state, while he was sitting president, was also over the Washington, D.C. school district. He was a superintendent. He stated that the Bible should always remain as one of the teaching tools of our children. Now, I believe with all my heart that our founding fathers were godly men. They put together a Constitution and a Bill of Rights to make this country free. And I want you to understand that God is all about freedom. Our founding fathers were all about being free, out from under the Church of England, out from under England. And they set it up where no one denomination could ever rule this country. That meant in Christianity. Do the research for yourself. Don't take my word for it. And certainly don't take a liberal's word for it. Study. Look it up. There are too many quotes by our founding fathers. We need to turn back to the foundation that our founding fathers established this nation on. We need God in our government. Look at our government right now. We're in debt. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 28, He says, if a nation follows me, I'll make them the head and not the tail. I'll cause them to lend and not borrow. But our nation has turned from God and said, we don't need you in the government. Now we got a government that's having to borrow and not lend. We've told the Lord we didn't need Him in our schools, and look at our schools. Our children shoot one another. They abuse one another. They do all kind of things. We need to turn back to the Bible. We told the Lord we didn't need Him in our businesses. And now our businesses are failing. Don't listen to the liberals. Don't listen to the pagans. Our country was founded, and God's blessed this country because it was established upon the principles of the Bible. Join me in praying for our nation to wake up, to turn back to the Lord. Thank you today for tuning in to The Pastor Said.